Hey everyone, and welcome back to Modern Tech Creators. Today, we are going to break down one of the most fundamental tools in a programmer's world, the compiler. What is it, and what does it actually do? Let's dive in. So, you've probably spent hours writing code, right? But have you ever just stopped and wondered, how does my computer actually get this? How do these lines of text we write turn into something a machine can actually execute? Well, that's exactly the question we're answering today. You see, there's this huge communication gap. On one side, you have us, writing in languages like C++ or Java. They make sense to us. But on the other side, you have the computer's brain, its processor, which only understands one thing, machine language. And that's literally just a long stream of ones and zeros. So we're basically dealing with a digital misunderstanding. We're speaking one language, and the computer's speaking a completely different one. We need some kind of bridge, some kind of translator to connect the two so our instructions can actually be understood. And that bridge, my friends, is the compiler. That's what it is. A compiler is a special program that acts as our expert translator. It takes all that human-readable code we wrote and converts the whole thing into machine code, the ones and zeros, that the computer's CPU can understand and execute directly. Okay, so how does this translation magic actually happen? Let's trace the journey of a piece of code as it goes from a simple text file to an actual command the computer can run. The whole process is actually pretty straightforward. It starts with step 1, you write your source code. Then comes the main event. Step 2, you run the compiler. Now, this is the key part. It scans and translates the entire program in one single pass. And if everything looks good, it moves to step 3. It spits out a brand new standalone executable file. Let's look at a classic example to make this super clear. Let's say you write a Hello World program in C and save it in a file called hello.c. When you run the compiler, you point it at that file, it does its thing, and out comes a totally new file, an executable. And that file is now pure machine code, ready to run on your computer anytime you want. If that's still a little abstract, don't worry. Let's use a real-world analogy that makes this whole concept click. Imagine you have a book written in French, but you only speak English. A compiler is like a professional translator who takes that entire French book, translates every single page from cover to cover, and then hands you a completely finished, ready-to-read English version. All the hard work is done up front. So in this analogy, the original French book is your source code. The translator, of course, is the compiler, and that finished English book is your brand new executable program. The key idea here is that the final product is completely separate from the original, and all the translation work is already finished. Now, this approach of translating everything all at once gives compilers some serious advantages. I like to think of them as the compiler's superpowers. Superpower number 1 is just pure blazing speed. Because all of that heavy translation work is done ahead of time, the final program runs incredibly fast. The computer doesn't have to waste time translating on the fly, it just executes the instructions. This makes compiled programs super efficient. And its second superpower is what I like to call a pre-flight check. See, before it even creates that final executable, the compiler scans your entire program for syntax errors. If you forgot a semicolon, misspelled a variable, anything like that, it'll tell you about all of those errors at once, before the program even tries to run. This is a huge help for developers to catch mistakes early. Okay, so let's wrap this all up with a final takeaway.
So let's just boil it down. A compiler is a code translator. It turns our language into the computer's language of ones and zeros. Its signature move, it translates the entire program all at once before you run it. The end result is a fast executable file, and its biggest advantages are that amazing speed and the super helpful error checking.
So the compiler is like that translator who gives you the whole translated book in one go. But what if you needed a translator who could work with you in real time, translating sentence by sentence as you go? Well, that's a whole other kind of magic for another day. So the next time you run a piece of software, you'll know about the invisible workhorse, the compiler, that made it all possible. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to Modern Tech Creators. We'll see you in the next